Prynawn da a croeso. Good afternoon and welcome to match day 7 and the third of the Bluebirds Nest live episodes that we've run out this season in the Cymru Premier Football. We are here at Park Hall in Oswestry in the county of Shropshire, where the champions and league leaders TNS play host to Haverfordwest County this afternoon. Kick-off approaching with what I must say is probably the best away ground playlist I've heard for some time. The music has been blaring here around the stadium for the last half hour. A bit of a club classic called Better Day has just been on, so let's hope that is the case for us this afternoon after what was a disappointing 4-0 loss last week. If you are listening live or on demand, you are hearing our new online concept, like I mentioned, for away games during the season, where we hope to have special guests joining us to not only give you an insight into life at the club, but also to talk you through what we can see whilst on the road with the Bluebirds. However, today, unfortunately, our planned guest has had to withdraw, so you're left with me riding solo for this afternoon. However, that being said, there are a number of Bluebirds fans in attendance this afternoon at Park Hall. I caught up with a number of them as they're taking their seats behind the goal. As for those of you unaware, there's a brand new stand at TNS that's been constructed over the summer. It isn't yet open, but as I look across to behind one of the goals, there's a good number, again, well into the teens, I would say, if not early 20s, of Bluebirds fans with us this afternoon. It's one of the shorter northern trips up to TNS, but it's still a good few hours drive from Pembrokeshire, so great effort. Spoke with Mike Harris this week, chairman of TNS, if that's any clue regarding today's guest. He's been a big supporter of the Bluebirds throughout the summer, particularly on Twitter, or X as I should call it, and he's passed on appreciation from all in South Wales of what's been going on, and he commented actually about supporter numbers and things. Anyway, on to the teams for this afternoon then. The home side first. In goal is Connor Roberts, Ryan Astles, Josh Daniels, Daniel Redmond, who takes the armband, Blaine Hudson, Dan Williams, Luke Brennan, Jordan Williams, Leo Smith, Brad Young and Jake Canavan, with a bench of Rhys Thompson, Josh Pask, Chris Marriott, Ryan Brobble, Ben Clark, Gwion David and Thomas Jones. Away side then for the Bluebirds. In goal, Zach Jones. Number 3, Rhys Abruzzese. Number 8, Kai Whitmore. Number 9, Ben Fawcett. 10, Daniel Hawkins. 11, Martel Taylor Crossdale. 15, Lee Jenkins. 18, Tyrese Owen. 20, Oscar Borg. 22, Jack Wilson. And captain once more, number 25, Luke Tabone. On the bench, number 12, Ivan Knott. 7, Ricky Watts. 14, Harry John. 23, Caden Williams-Lowe. 24, Yori Humphreys. 44, Daniel John. And 54, I believe, making his first appearance in the matchday squad, is Jacob Owen. In the last outing for the club, just to mention Ricky Watts, he was our 2-goal hero at Barry Town United a number of weeks ago after he's got married himself, so again, congratulations on that, and picked up a little bit of a niggle. He's back in the squad this afternoon. Referee is Mr. Aaron Wynne Jones. His assistants Connor Thomas and Jordan Christopher. Fourth official, Ewan Arwell Griffith. Now, according to my notes, both assistant referees were with us for our last away game, and Mr. Jones, the man in the middle, was the fourth official that day. So let's hope that's a good omen for today. As you can no doubt hear, the teams are just coming onto the pitch beneath me here, where I sit in the media suite at Park Hall. Teams coming out as they go through the team announcements over the tannoy. TNS in a white and green strip, and Haverfordwest this afternoon in the yellow and blue away number. As players just exchange dignitaries, customary handshaking. Game is almost underway, so if you are joining us this afternoon, please feel free to use the chat function on the YouTube stream to ask questions and engage with us throughout the game. Please don't let it be me just speaking into the abyss all afternoon. Let's get the conversations going. And my first question, like I said, is where are you tuning in from today? as I'm aware, I think we might have a new record. We might have a listener as far away as Beijing this afternoon. So please use the chat feature to get in touch. I'll await those responses, but let's talk in predictions. Again, let us know in the chat what are you thinking. We'll be picking up those comments. It's going to be a tough afternoon for the boys, but I think playing the role of underdogs has suited us, particularly over the summer, and probably within the Cymru Premier playoffs as well, with many people seeming to be writing us off. Certainly today, it seems to be the case with the bookies almost ruling out picking up any points here, but who knows? We've beaten them before, most recently at home during the COVID season a number of years ago. If anyone can find out the last time we won in Oswestry, I'd be grateful because I couldn't find it myself. So hopefully we break that losing streak up in Shropshire this afternoon. Luke Tabone and Danny Redmond just shaking hands in the centre circle, and we're almost underway here in Park Hall. And number 39, Tom Jones. Bluebirds just in the traditional huddle before kickoff. It seems to be a Bluebirds kickoff. For those of you who have been to TNS before or know the ground from Sgorio, I'm opposite the dugout. So the camera is pointing straight towards us over here in the main stand, like I said, which is almost completed and it's going to be unveiled in the next few weeks, I believe. I'm sat above the tunnel, so as I see it, Bluebirds playing towards my left, the TNS playing to the right. And again, this playlist is something to be noted about. It's trying to create an atmosphere. Looking around the ground, it's probably the busiest I've seen Park Hall, if I'm honest. I'm not saying something. I'm going to guess there's about 150 in total, but I'm seeing more Bluebirds. There's a couple of the European shirts over in the distance, so over by the Bluebirds dugout. So there's a good 30 or 40 perhaps Haverfordwest supporters here today as well. Game is underway. Haverfordwest kicked off, and the ball is in now possession of TNS, just inside their own half, with Astles coming across to Blaine Hudson. Two very tall, towering figures at centre half. And it seems to be Redmond playing at left back for TNS, and Daniels over on the right. They've pushed very high up. They seem to be a back four, but those two full-backs really pushing up high. They seem to have two sitters in front of their back two. And TNS keeping possession well here. And looking for, it seems to be almost similar to the Bluebirds with that sort of 10 position for TNS and the two strikers. Haverfordwest lining up, as we have regularly recently, as an early header chance it goes out for a goal kick for Haverfordwest County. The back three, as always, Leroy Jenkins in the centre of a back three, Oscar to the left, and Luke Tabone taking his place to the right. We've got Rhys Abrasesi on the left, and Jack Wilson today over on the right-hand side. Kai Whitmore and Tyrese in those holding centre midfielder positions, and Dan Hawkins just in front of them, it seems, with Ben Fawcett and Martel Taylor-Crossdale up top. Zach has gone short to Rhys Abrasesi over on this near side. Again, Rhys Abrasesi with his customary now, his wrist strapping. It does seem to be getting better week in, week out with him since breaking his wrist in the Cymru Premier playoff final back in May. He did have a cast on originally, but that's been removed, and he plays now with a wrist support. I think it'll become a trademark Abu feature, that on his left wrist there. TNS back in possession, just on the halfway line. Bluebirds looking very well set up today, looking organised. Again, I'm waiting some comments in the chat. There's 14 current live listeners to the stream this afternoon. Please feel free to engage in the chat. It's I don't want to be talking into the abyss of YouTube all afternoon on my own. Please give me somebody to engage with. TNS have had a busy week this week. They've played two fixtures. They had last weekend a trip up to Scotland, where they faced Hibernian under-21s in the Scottish Challenge Cup. A young Hibernian team. TNS were in fact winners though, 3-0, and progressed into the next round, where I believe they've picked up a home draw this time against East Fife. Again, as Bluebirds are breaking here, Martel Taylor-Crossdale going one-on-one with Ryan Astles. He's just on the edge of the box, cuts inside. It's well tackled. Danny Redmond was just chasing back for TNS there. That was a promising chance, that one. Astles did well to stand him up and show him inside, giving Redmond a chance to come back inside. But an early chance for the Bluebirds. To go back, saying about TNS's busy week, they won 3-0 up in Scotland before then. A very physical, as those of you have seen on social media and Scorio highlights this week, a very physical encounter with Bala on Wednesday night. It ended 0-0, but it's I think it's always going to be known as the game where there was 4 red cards over one incident, 2 players and 2 coaching staff, one from either side, both player and the coaching staff. It was manager Craig Harrison for TNS who got sent off after a bit of a skirmish, should we say, with a Bala coach, Ryan Valentine. And Adrian Chislovich, the TNS captain on the night, was also sent off, so he misses out today, suspended. He's just walked past the media gantry here. And also, Craig Harrison is starting what I believe is a 3-match touchline ban. He's also just a few yards away from me with former TNS striker Greg Draper, who's I believe is the head coach of the ladies team up here at TNS at the moment, and also part of the first team coaching staff. So those two deep in conversation as the game is underway here. Luke Tabone does well to shepherd the ball out for a goal kick. Brad Young up top for TNS today. I've not heard or seen much of Brad Young, if I'm totally honest, but looks a lively centre forward. But Luke does well to shepherd the ball out for a goal kick, and it's back. Zach is just teeing up another Haverfordwest goal kick. Again, I'm still waiting for some comments. Who's going to be the first to put a comment in the chat this afternoon? Let us know where you're listening in from, or what your match day predictions are going to be. I'm hoping for a positive afternoon. It's going to be tough. They are an extremely well organised and competent team, TNS, obviously. And like I said, we've not won up here for many years, but let's hope today's the day we pick up some points on the travels in just over into the English border. Ben Fawcett currently on the ball inside the first half, back to Tabone. Bluebirds keeping the ball when we have had possession of the ball, keeping it well. Having said that, they give it away and it's gone out for a throw. Back in play, straight away. Looking to keep a high tempo, it seems, TNS. They're looking to be working the ball side to side across the full width of the pitch at the moment. Here's the first comment. Thank you, Mr. Fern. Essex, our Essex listener, that's currently the furthest afield I think we've had over the last few weeks of the Bluebirds Nest Live. I have got on firm belief. I've seen a Twitter or an X post this afternoon regarding one listener over in Beijing. That would be a record. Let's get the Bluebirds global. TNS still in possession with Josh Daniels, who's playing right back but seems to have taken up a very central position at the moment. Receives it again on the edge of the box. It's a great interlink, and it's a first proper chance for TNS. It's into the side net and it has gone out for a goal kick, but that was well worked from the home side. Josh Daniels, as I said, cut in from the right hand side, playing down very centrally. Nice little flick over the Bluebirds defence. Brad Young hitting on the half volley, but it's into the side net, and I think Zach had it well covered, to be fair. Again, ball's in Zach's hands as he's teeing up another goal kick. Good afternoon, Rob. 1-0 win for the Bluebirds. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it just? Down in Bridgend this afternoon. It did a good couple of hours journey back to South Wales. Good afternoon, Robin. Down the road at Swansea. Bluebirds 2-1. Like the positivity already coming in this afternoon. Excellent. And it is quite open, to be fair. Obviously, they're very technical, the TNS players. They're moving the ball really well. They know where each teammate is going to be. Very well structured and organised here. You can see that they're full-time professional players. As a shot completely well over the crossbar, Zach's crossbar from range. But yeah, TNS, it looks like currently a bit of a training drill for them as they're moving the ball around. But the Bluebirds are doing well. But yeah, so far we got a 1-0, a 1-1, and a 2-1. I take any of those right now. All the players seem to be coming to the left-hand side of the pitch there for a Zach goal kick, and he's played it short across to Jack Wilson, who puts it up for Martel. But again, the two, they've got to be 6'4", 6'5", both TNS centre halves. However, that might work in our way with the pace we've got going forward this afternoon. Let's hope we can run round them, eh? It's a free kick to Haverfordwest, just inside the Bluebirds half, in front of easily 20 Haverfordwest supporters over there. I can see there's the Cleddau Casuals flag up on the fence, and a number of those athletic sponsored Navy European shirts too. So fair play to those who've made the travels up this afternoon. Zach with the free kick, 10 yards inside our half. All the players to the right hand side of the pitch. It's long. The left back for TNS has headed it back. He's forced it, picks it up. Is tackled, it's cleared. Lee Jenkins heads back into play. But it's Jordan Williams who breaks for TNS. It's a through ball. Abusezi is over this side of the pitch. Jordan Williams again does well, but it's safe in the hands of Zach Jones, who rolls out, looking to press to counter immediately. It's Kai. Great feat again by Kai. Under pressure, just outside the box, and he's brought down for a free kick. We do have the first goal of the afternoon in the Cymru Premier. There's a number of games going on. Connors Key have taken the lead at home to... No, it's not the first goal. There's plenty of goals here. Let's take... First minute, Newtown are 1-0 up against Barry in the first minute. And Connors Key also lead 1-0. So the goals are coming in already after just 11 minutes of play in the Cymru Premier this afternoon. The linesman's kept his flag down. The TNS are on the counter-attack. Kai Whitmore does well to stop play. It's a long-range effort that seems... It hit Oscar. Calls for a handball on the edge of the box. Not given. But now the Bluebirds back in possession on the halfway line with Martel Taylor Crossdale. It does well to use his body to protect the ball there. Puts it down the touchline. Fawcett chases Astles, but it's come across the goalkeeper Connor Roberts for the home side. Very open so far. Yeah, so fixtures wise across the league, Connors Key 1-0 up against Cardiff Met. Penabont Caernarfon 0-0. Newtown 1, Barrytown United 0, and Pontypridd host Bala this afternoon. That's also 0-0. Aaron Williams, who I think scored twice against us last week, back on the score sheet after just 1 minute at home to Barry. And it's Jack Kenny with Connors Key's goal. I think he scored a couple already this season, and obviously we face them next weekend at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. Let's hope he's not on the score sheet then. It's great interlink play by TNS on the edge of the Haverfordwest box at the moment. Bluebirds doing well. That's another shot straight over the bar. It's a good 15 foot over the crossbar again. It's hit the sponsors board on the stand, the roof of the stand, I should say. Thank you, Rob. I see in the chat he's saying about the interview with Luke. Yeah, we had Luke Tabone, the captain, who's joined us from Maltese Premier League side Gazira United. Spoke with Luke this week, Thursday evening, and that went out on the YouTube channel last night. Fascinating insight into Luke's career, what's brought him, he's ended up at Haverfordwest County now this season. Having played Malta, there's an island just above Malta, which is classed as Malta, but it's called Gozo. He was born and brought up there and played in the Gozo Football League. Then had spells with Burnley under 21s and went on loan to Stockport. Sorry, not Stockport, Southport even. And then went back to the Maltese Premier League then to play for Zira. Played in Europe many times, playing full first leg, second legs, and into the second round many times for Zira before joining us. So he's got a great CV, Lucas, and he's been beginning to show that already this season. As a free kick is awarded, Jack Wilson just seems milliseconds late there. Does we'll say he confers with the referee rather passionately regarding the award. It doesn't seem that Jack made contact with the player, but the ref deemed it to be halted the player in his tracks. 2 over the ball, Redmond and Jordan Williams. Sorry, no, Leo Smith it is, a right footer. Looked to be, it's on the left hand side as I can see the penalty box, over near the corner flag. It's a packed out penalty box. Every Bluebirds player back defending. It's very static at the moment. But there's a 2-man wall blocking that near post. Leo Smith to deliver. It's round the back. Tyrese ushers it. It's gone out for a goal kick. Tyrese did well not to put into his own net almost. But it was Jordan Williams on the back post that Tyrese was marking, and he managed to do a good job to stop the one of TNS's talisman getting on the score sheet there. I think this is the 6th goal kick after just 15 minutes, which we'll take that all day long. Goal kicks aren't a problem. Ball back in play over to this near side. It's aimed for Dan Hawkins. It's gone straight over Dan's head into touch on the halfway line. And again, straight away, ball boys. There's a number of ball boys around the Park Hall pitch today. And they're straight to get the ball into play. And it's the 2 centre halves who carry that ball into the Bluebirds half. Luke Dubone's done well to intercept play. Back in possession. He's gone long a little bit away from where it needed to be. And the ball goes through to the TNS keeper. Take it, Glenn. Take it. The music that was blaring before the kick-off, once they've turned it off, it's very quiet here at the moment in Park Hall, should we say. Hudson in possession, the centre half. He travels really well, and there's lots of movement from the attacking TNS players, but none of them get on the end of the ball, and it's safe in hands of Zach Jones yet again. Tony Pennock, the only Bluebirds member of staff in the technical area at the moment. A full bench and coaching staff sat behind the wall. It's almost like an Old Trafford style coaching staff area here at Park Hall. But interestingly, it's Chris Sargent, the assistant manager in the technical area for TNS, with manager Craig Harrison suspended, and in the stands over this side next to me. Both Sargent and Pennock just watching on, arms crossed, waiting for something to happen here at the moment. Lots of possession for TNS, just moving the ball around, but the Bluebirds standing strong. Jack Wilson does well to stop across over on the far side. It's back to Redmond. Number 27, Jake Canavan, who spent some time on loan. Jake Canavan played for Aberystwyth last year, played against us twice. He's back with TNS, and he does seem to be getting a lot more game time this season. Across, cleared by Tyrese Owen, straight up in the air. I don't think he's going to leave the penalty box. It's back with Brad Young on the edge, takes a shot, deflected, out for a corner. Luke Taborn showing great leadership skills there. He's wagging the finger at a number of players. It's just this excellent movement from the home team. The players just darting runs left, right, and centre. It's very free flowing from the home side. And at the moment, I think the Bluebirds just adjusting to what those marks are. There's a chance, there's a header, it's gone wide. Could you, those in attendance, groan? There's a good chance that it was a well-contested header up just on the edge of the 6-yard box, pretty centrally. It goes out for, you guessed it, a goal kick. Good comments, love it. Makes a change from throw-ins, Rob, yes. That infamous night in Penabont, where I think we broke a Guinness World Record for the amount of throw-ins that night. It's goal kicks today, but like I said, we'll take that. If they want to shoot 30 yards over the crossbar, that's no problem. Ball boys in attendance, no comment publicly, but yeah, my predictions is about 150 today, and I would say at least 30 of those being Bluebird supporters. Is in the media gantry above the tunnel, for those of you who watch on Scorio and things like that. There's about 10 season ticket holders allowed in this section of the ground. Nobody beneath in the brand new stand. It's all boarded up and can't be used at the moment for safety purposes. Behind the goal, I'm guessing there's about 120 odd behind the goal, and then over on the far side, alongside the touchline, near the Bluebirds management area, like I said, there's about 30 Bluebirds fans over there. So yeah, my guess is about 150, but it'd be interesting to see what the actual attendance comes through this afternoon. Tony Bennett currently encouraging his players to come further up the pitch. It does seem to be a very defensive, I wouldn't say park the bus, but it is holding off all the TNS attacks at the moment. But the Bluebirds do need to be more attack-minded. The first yellow card of the afternoon is delivered to Tyrese Owen. FC deems a foul on Josh Daniels to be a tad too late. He's going for the ball, to be fair. The ball has been cleared by Daniels, and Tyrese just comes through and catches him on the toes. I've seen worse for those types of tackles. I have seen other cards. I've seen no cards as well, but Tyrese picks up a yellow. We are 21 minutes in. Again, TNS quick to play, passed out from the back, the keeper, 2 Astles, and straight away they're on an attack with Redmond over on the far side. Again, they just turn around and come back and switch in play. They're moving the ball really well, to be fair, the champions here. It's back in Bluebirds possession. Hawkins now, after Abruzzese won back possession. Great turn by Tyrese Owen. Daniel's looking to get his own back here. It's great feat by Tyrese Owen. Gets himself out of trouble. Oh, Kai Whitmore almost put Ben Fawcett through then. He would have been a yard offside, I think. This is positive. Luke Taborn now travelling with the ball. It's a cross-field over. I will say is the fullbacks with TNS are relatively short. I know they've got giants in the middle, but the fullbacks are more of the sort of short, pacey athlete. Luke Taborn out to Jack Wilson, over on the far right-hand side. Back to Taborn. Jockeyed well, and it's Fawcett. Could have been a foul there. There was appeals. Ref doesn't give anything. TNS back with the ball. Abruzzese does well to come round and win back possession. Back to, it's a pass by Jack Wilson that was intended for Zach Jones. Doesn't make it to Zach. TNS pick up possession just on the edge of the box. Could have got ugly there, but it's crossed across, and now it's safe in the hands of the keeper. And Zach certainly doesn't seem to be mincing his words when telling Jack there that should have gone long, could have gone safe. Again, just showing how high this TNS are pressing the Bluebirds at the moment. again in the yellow Macron strip, sponsored by Clig Gifford. Oscar and Zach playing a couple of 1-2s here before Zach with his left foot clears. Martel getting manhandled by Blaine Hudson, it seems. The ref doesn't give anything. Martel's appealing. But it's now with the TNS keeper. Ben Fawcett does really well to... Oh, I thought he was going to get a foul there. He doesn't. TNS are on the break. Ben did really well to get possession back off a travelling Dan Redmond, TNS captain this afternoon. The ref didn't give anything. It's just TNS back on the edge of the box with a chance of a strike. And it's a goal. It's a goal to Leo Smith from the edge of the Haverfordwest box. Bluebirds appeal, and Ben Fawcett has picked up a yellow card. I'm surprised it wasn't given as a foul. The ref let play on, with TNS picking up the ball off after Ben Fawcett hit the ground. The ball worked its way back to Leo Smith, who's bent one into the far corner. It's a good finish, but should that have been allowed? Look forward to seeing that one back. Still the Bluebirds players and management. Frustrations speaking to the officials.
The goal scorer for the new sides in the 24th minute was number 21, Leo Smith.
It's a bitterly disappointing way to go behind, particularly of that contentious one by the referee, should we say, but it was probably the most worrying attack that the TNS have had, to be fair. So hope we can bounce straight back here and retaliate. I don't know, he's given a TNS free kick. I don't really know what for over there. Jack Wilson jumped higher than the fullback, and the fullback's won the free kick. Ball back in play. Again, it's across the back line and out the other side for the home side. There'll be some good distances covered this afternoon from the Bluebirds. They're chasing and trying to stop these attacks really well, to be fair. It's reminding me very much of some of those away European ties where it was, backs against the walls, defend as much as we can and look to get some success on the counter attack. The boys seem well drilled, they're rigid. However, we do trail 1-0. Again, this is a lot like deja vu. It's the same pattern of play from the home side every single time. Looking to break the lines. That's a good strike from number 14, Dan Williams, ex-Swansea City midfielder. A left-footed curling effort is saved down low to Zach Jones's right in the bottom left corner of the goal, as I see it. It's a good save, parried to the edge of the penalty box, and it was Ben Fawcett, who's playing up front, was back defending with his teammates. Afternoon, yes then. The crowd goes wild. Yeah, indeed. Frustrations building a little bit with both players and staff alike. A lot more communication coming back and forth now. TNS just looking to fully take control of this fixture, but there seems to be gaps and areas that we can exploit. Again, possession stats will be an interesting one, but that's irrelevant really. It's only one stat that we really care about. But possession-wise, they're just side to side, back and forth. But then those front players are making some great moves to be just not really being picked out yet. So Haverfordwest row over on the right hand side in front of the coaching staff. Again, I'm going to remain professional. I'll not comment too much on attendance numbers in a banterous way, should we say. Luke de Bourne with possession then. Travels. Turns again. Lovely little Cruyff turn by Luke there. And the ball is back to the centre halves of TNS. Do really well to gather possession back. Looking, came up on the players' course this morning, leaving Pembrokeshire around 8:30, and I took some time to look at TNS's last few weeks' results and their stats. They've scored 16 times already in the league this season. They've scored 6 goals twice, at home to Connah's Quay and at home to Haverfordwest. They've only conceded 4, and 2 goals against Connah's Quay in that first league game of the season, 6-2. And then when they were 2-0 up, they conceded twice at home to Barry Town United. First time they dropped points at home in months and months and months, I believe it was. So they've only conceded 4 all season. So every other game has been a clean sheet. So it was always going to be a tough task this afternoon. Again, possession just calmly kept. Bluebirds sitting in 2 banks with Martel just in front at the moment. The ball is just inside the Haverfordwest half, and this back 4 just moving it side to side, looking for those gaps. When they do play it forward, it's another great header by Lee Jenkins, just clears the lines. And it's back, and the same pattern is going to unfold, I'm sure. The last time I saw a live fixture from TNS on the telly, anyway, was their own European campaigns this summer. I watched certainly the home one. I remember watching against Häcken, the Swedish champions, who again, were a great opponent. To think they'd beaten teams like Gothenburg and Brøndby in the Swedish league to win that title showed the quality of opponent TNS faced that night. It was 2-0 at Park Hall in the second leg. I think it was a 5-1. I think TNS scored away. They lost 3-1 away and 2-0 at home. That's the last time I've watched them live. As the ball heads out for a corner. That's the first corner of the afternoon. But I think going forward with TNS looking for European fixtures, that's certainly the intention, is the extra seat in, which probably added not far off 2,000 seats to Park Hall. It's certainly to tick boxes so they can play not only the first round qualifiers, which they were able to do this season, but if they were to progress, I believe Zach has just caught the ball straight from the corner. He's done well there, to be fair. The second round qualifier, had TNS progressed, wouldn't have been able to be played at Park Hall. So I believe that's why the additional seats are being put in, so that future fixtures, if and when they do win those ties, that they can play the next round at Park Hall. It was a really clean take from the corner from Zach. It was a left-footed in-swinger, come out to collect with authority, to be fair. But the ball again is just in possession on the halfway line. There's 5 or 6 players just passing it about, and the Bluebirds almost chasing a couple of shadows there. But this is where they're dangerous. They do break, creating space. It's on the edge of the box, and again, it's hit that same sign above the goal, 30 yards over the goal line. It's a shot from the edge of the box that it's just the TNS striker seems to be leaning back so much. I think it's Brad Young again who's had the chance, and it's just so far over the bar. We take that all day long. Greg Draper, the former TNS striker, just walked past. He certainly wouldn't have been putting them that far over the bar back in his day. Yeah, 33 minutes into the game, and Rob's comment, what do we need to change? To be honest, I don't think we do need to change anything. We've started well. We know TNS are going to have a lot of the ball, even though we do like to play possession football ourselves. But we do look a threat on the break. It's just they seem to be reading the passes forward and the breaks. They're reading them well. But Bluebirds currently in possession. It's another great turn by Kai Whitmore. He's gone past 3 players. If something comes of this, the ref, 4 or 5 players he's skipping past. Hawkins on the edge of the box. Is out to Abruzzese. It's almost Jordan Williams who's back just outside the 6-yard box there. With Abu would have had a great opportunity. Ref has missed it. That was handball, surely. It's a great passage of play here, but Kai Whitmore travelled 5 or 6 TNS players tried to take it off him. It ended up with Hawkins who fed Abruzzese, but it was Jordan Williams who nicked that ball just before potentially Abu could have let rip with the left foot there. And again, TNS countering any opportunity to move the ball forward. They do well, to be fair. Enforce it now. Again, in a very defensive position, having to help his teammates. Helps out. It's cleared long. And it's Canavan it's Daniel Williams, sorry. In the centre midfield position and picks up possession. A very rare wayward pass. Goes backwards, but right back Josh Daniels does pick up. It's across to Hudson. Martel Taylor Croster, to be fair, is trying to press, but as a one-man front line at the moment, it seems Fawcett does drop a bit deeper here now. Martel is doing a fair shift. It's a far quieter experience at Park Hall than certainly Colwyn Bay 2 weeks ago, where it was very lively and noisy. Watched some of the game last night. Colwyn Bay got their back-to-back victories, having beaten Penabont expertly the week before in a smash and grab. The flag is up. There was almost a TNS chance there. Colwyn Bay, having lost to us 2-1 the week before, went to Penabont last week, for those of you unaware, and nicked the 3 points, I will say, because Penabont did have lots of chances, but they did well, to be fair. I think it was their captain who scored late on for Colwyn Bay, and they backed that up last night. They beat Aberystwyth 3-1 at home. And it was an entertaining first half, anyway, from what I saw. It was 2-1 at the break, but Colwyn Bay seemed to be the better team throughout. So they're up and running with back-to-back victories. Aberystwyth still without a win themselves. I think they sit on 1 point with just a couple of goals. It's been an interesting how the league's panning out so far this season. Lee Jenkins wins his tussle with Jordan Williams. Back to Kai Whitmore. The ref does have a left arm and has pointed it in the Bluebirds' attacking direction, but as it's played quickly, he's halted player, TNS player is down. Doesn't seem to be too much wrong with him, but a quick play by the Bluebirds is halted. Luke DeBorn is asking the linesman, request saying, linesman, you've seen that, so I don't know, I missed that myself. I think there could have been an off-the-ball incident there. .37 played. There's been another goal across the leagues. It's the first away goal of the afternoon. Has gone to Caernarfon, who lead Penabont 1-0 at the SDM Glass Stadium in Bridgend. As the Bluebirds have possession here themselves. Tyrese looking to see a run. Abruzzese's coming round. Oh, that would have been the pass. Hawkins to Taylor Crossdale, 30 yards out. Out to Jack Wilson. His body's in the box. The cross comes in. It's deep. Abruzzese. Oh, he's potentially fouled. Ref's not giving anything. Back with Oscar on the edge of the box. To Hawkins. Hawkins back post delivery. Wilson. Oh, he's punched clear by Connor Roberts there. I think if there was a little bit more contact, Abu could have picked us up a penalty there. And I'm not aware who is on penalties at the moment. It was Martel. But that would have been a great chance to equalise there. The ref didn't even give the no penalty sort of signal with his arms. Nothing, just ignored what. Well, if he deemed it a dive, he should have halted play and booked him. It's a strange one, that. Correct, Rob. VAR, indeed. Oh. There's a bit of an altercation. Brad Young seems to have gone in late on Zach Jones. Zach collected the ball. It was a great take from the keeper, and Brad Young certainly hasn't slowed down. Has clattered into Zach Jones. Zach went about 3-4 foot off the floor. Hitting the deck hard, to be fair, on this artificial pitch. Zach reacted. He got up and went straight into Brad Young's space, having a confrontation, the two of them. The refs now pulled the both of them together to have a chat. Luke is stood next to him as captain, keeping an eye on proceedings. TNS, one of the TNS season ticket holders near me is saying it should have been a penalty to TNS there. Don't quite work that one. Both players have been booked, so Zach Jones picks up a yellow. Not quite sure I agree with the TNS supporters here, saying it should have been a penalty when the foul was on the keeper. But hey ho, one to watch on the highlights perhaps. Brad Young and Zach Jones pick up yellow cards. Another goal. Ben Nash has picked up a second goal for Connors Key. We're obviously playing Flint at the moment. They are 2-0 up against Cardiff Met there. There's a lot more positivity around the Bluebirds play now. Wilson and Tabone playing some great interlinking 1-2 football here. Hawkins is being held up by 3 TNS players there. So the Bluebirds have got space over on this left-hand side. Oscar Tabone back to Abruzzese. Great feat by Tyrese. Hawkins 30 yards out. The ref is fouled. Play on. The ref was involved there. Oh, it's a great cross by Jack Wilson across the front of the goal mouth. Is caught very well by the TNS keeper. It was almost calamity football there. Martel has picked up a yellow as Connor Roberts went to distribute that ball out to his left back. I would say Martel certainly ran in front of him and caught the keeper's arm. Don't know whether he actually put the arm up to drag it back, but he certainly did collide with him, and the ref has deemed it a yellow card. The ref did well to get up off the floor himself there. Allow play to carry on. He kept his eyes on the game and has obviously seen that infringement. If there was a mute button for the fan, Rob, I'd be activating it certainly. His bifocals, should we say, need some cleaning perhaps. Tabone does well to win the ball back inside the Bluebirds half. Back to Wilson and back to Zach Jones. Brad Young chasing. Could this be a repeat here? Yeah, Brad Young decides not to challenge the keeper this time. It's a positive finish to what is nearly the halftime break. Bluebirds in a lot more possession now. It's a shame we couldn't have started as brightly. TNS certainly not used to not having the possession of the ball like this. The commentator's curse has killed me there as they've won the ball back. And now break. Kai Whitmore's chasing. It's over to the left-hand side with Leo Smith. Oh, he does well to dance inside. Oh, it's just over the bar. 2 sliding tackles from the Bluebirds are dodged. I thought it was Leo Smith. It's Dan Williams. There's 3 players in the TNS team who do look very similar from this distance, but it was Dan Williams who danced into the Haverfordwest box and tried chipping rather than placing the ball, and it cleared the net in the back corner of the goal. My friend in the gantry here Just claiming for time wasting. Again, Zach's run to get the ball, to be fair. Could get lively in the second half. I certainly plan to get lively if we score anyway. Let's make some friends up in Shropshire. Abruzzese now with a throw-in inside the TNS half. The weather has threatened to turn into a wet afternoon, but it's held off. But it's certainly getting a bit colder here this afternoon. So much for the September sun. Seems to have disappeared. Jenkins now tussling with Brad Young. Haverfordwest come away with the ball. Kai Whitmore, repossession again, looks after it. Bluebirds finishing again this half strong. Abruzzese, can he get in? He's on. Cross, Martel, 25 yards out. Oh, it is an effort on goal. The keeper's not happy with his defenders there, but he has collected it. It's another half a chance. And here they go again. TNS counter-attacking down that left-hand side. They're quick to get that distribution out. It's a long-range effort, saved comfortably by Zach Jones. My friend now applauding Zach Jones's efforts. I might invite him on for the second half, perhaps. And find another microphone. Now Zach is taking his time here. He's on a yellow, so he does need to be careful. It's one back inside their own half, and they break. It's down the left-hand side. Luke standing him up, shows him inside. It's that same location where the goal went in from, where they like to take a strike from, it seems. On the edge of the box, Leo Smith to Brad Young. It's a strike. That's incredible. It's hit that same sign above the goal yet again. I think that's 4 or 5 times now.
Sport officials indicated that there will be a minimum of 3 minutes added time. A minimum of 3 minutes added time.
With the Park Hall Tannoy announcers mentioned there, there's 3 minutes to play before the break. Tony Bennett leaning against a wall over on the far side, making notes, ready for his half-time debrief. There's been a couple of chances with TNS, to be fair, so going in just the 1-goal deficit, I don't think it's the end of the world. I certainly think we are in this game. We've ended it, or we are ending the first half probably on top over the last 5 minutes. Ball is out on the far side. No ball boys quick to collect it now all of a sudden. Jack Wilson's having to go into the stinging nettles on the far side to collect the ball. He's back on the touchline. I think that the use of Jack's long throw as an attacking threat is so powerful. Having him back in the team is useful. That's the first one he's done this afternoon. It's down. It's already right next to the corner flag. Martel can get something here. He tries, but it's gone out for a goal kick. There's a TNS player down holding his eyes on the far side, but his teammates have carried on. Already it's back in play almost at the halfway line. Zach now in possession in our own half. It's probably only 60 seconds remaining of this first half, where I can see there's good numbers this afternoon who've joined us live for this Bluebirds Nest live broadcast, including Joan in Bridgend. Croeso, welcome to you. Thank you. I'm glad you like my dulcet tones. I hate hearing myself back, so I won't be listening to this back myself, but glad you keeping up to date with all the Bluebirds news and match commentary. As Kai Whitmore does well to stop a break there. The ref is looking at both wristwatches. It must be a matter of seconds now before he brings the half to a close. TNS back in possession of the ball. It's another glance. The fourth official again, I think, is signalling that the time is up. Ben Fawcett as well to pick the ball back up. Jack Wilson plays off for TNS, but it's still in. Jack thought it was going to go out, but TNS have kept it in. Great tackle by Kai Whitmore. You could probably hear that. It's a great tackle. Good clash against Jordan Williams. It goes out off Jordan Williams' leg for a Bluebirds throw. And that's the half. 1-0 to TNS.
Stadium then is New Saints 1, Haverfordwest County 0. As the players and match officials waiting for half time, can I remind everyone that the whole of the stadium area within the outer front defence, including on the balcony, is a strictly no smoking area. Please note this does include the use of vapes or any other similar devices. Can I especially remind everyone that only those officially authorised...
The players and staff now crossing the field towards us. I'll try and compete against the stadium announcer. But we go into the break 1-0 behind. Been an entertaining first half, to be fair, but the next goal crucial now, and we will return to the broadcast in 15 minutes. So put the kettle on, enjoy, and I'll be back on in 15 minutes. Croeso nôl. Welcome back to Park Hall in Oswestry Street in Shropshire, where the champions and league leaders TNS lead Haverfordwest County 1-0. It's almost time for the second half. TNS just coming back onto the pitch. Does look like there's going to be a change for Haverfordwest. Ricky Watts is warmed up in his kit and ready to return. I can't quite see yet who isn't returning to the pitch. If it's a central role, Kai Whitmore's returning. There's no Tyrese or Dan Hawkins. Oh, there's Tyrese just coming from beneath us in the tunnel. There's no Jack Wilson yet. Dan Hawkins is now coming onto the pitch, so I'm thinking it could be Jack Wilson who might be getting replaced here. Yeah, I believe it is Jack Wilson. I think there's 10 outfield players on the pitch there. Just quickly to pick up on while I remembered, I mentioned the ball went in the stingies over on the far side. There's a gap in the advertising boards here at Park Hall where they roll out the junior football goals and things like that. And beyond it, there is a longer patch of grass that seems somewhat unkept. So it literally seemed to be a stingy little patch over there. This is football, and it also leads me in to talk about some of the tweets I've seen at halftime. Scorio tweeting that unfortunately Cardiff Met forgot to take their kit to Connors Quay this afternoon. So Cardiff Met are playing in the Connors Quay away strip, the all black strip that I've seen a video footage of during the half, where we've picked up a coffee and we've warmed up a bit on this pretty chilly afternoon here. Yeah, it is, to confirm, it is a Jack Wilson switch. Ricky Watts coming over on this right-hand side. His first appearance since his exploits at Barrytown United on that infamous 2-2 draw, where I would say we've salvaged a point coming away from Barry that evening. Ricky looking at the fresh new haircut that he picked up for his wedding just a fortnight ago. Play back underway then.
Half-time substitution for Haverfordwest County. Number 7, Ricky Watts, has come on to replace number 22, Jack Wilson.
It's a 60-yard long ball from Astles at the back. It was going to be won by the TNS fullback Daniels, but it's Dan Hawkins who's headed out for a corner, an early corner into this second half period here then. It's going to be an in-swinger from number 10, Dan Redmond, who's playing left-back today. Sometimes far more advanced, but Redmond has done a job many times at left-back and is certainly doing so this afternoon. In-swinger, here it comes. It's loose. Tyrese Owen ends up staying... I thought he was going to make a lunging tackle and stay on your feet, Tyrese. He does, and it's out for a goal kick. Fascinating halftime break. Like I said, I mentioned I went inside to Park Hall, and it's a walk down memory lane of this club who are highly successful over the last 25-30 years really, and it gave me a chance to read up on how years ago where the club was developed from. It's if I can get this right, I've made some notes. So history lesson time. In 1996, Llansan Fried won the Welsh Cup and qualified for the first time for the European Cup Winners' Cup. At this time then, it was a local computer company called Total Network Solutions of Oswestry arranged for a £250,000 sponsorship deal, which involved incorporating the club name into what was Llansan Fried. So then known as Total Network Solutions Llansan Fried. They met Polish Cup winners Ruch Chorzo. And it earned a 1-1 draw in Wales before going out to Poland and losing 5-0. And then a couple of years later, 97, the club's name was changed to Total Network Solutions FC. So they dropped the Llansan Fried name from their club. And then a few years later, 6 years later, shareholders of Oswestry Town met and approved that merger with TNS. So the original Llansan Fried merging with Oswestry. It seemed that the financially weaker club was a close neighbours to TNS, also playing in the League of Wales. So they were really close rivals, merged, and it was the birth of TNS. Hence why they now play in Shropshire, in the English counties, but obviously play in the Cymru Premier. And their first ever competitive fixture, was played at the Millennium Stadium in 2003. If anyone can tell me who that was against, that's good trivia knowledge. So I'll leave it like that for a moment. But it's a well-known club they played in the Millennium Stadium. I wonder if anyone knows in the chat. There's an opportunity to clear the lines for the Bluebirds again as TNS attack you, and a bit of miscommunication results in the TNS picking it back up on the edge of the box. Dan Williams has been instrumental in the midfield for TNS this afternoon, dictating it almost. Good tackle by Lee Jenkins inside the box. Needed to be a positive one. It's now Brad Young is cleared. Luke de Bourne clears for a corner. Another corner early in the second half. My friend has continued to throw his opinions the way of the TNS way, Haverfordwest way. It's a goal to TNS. That's a poor one to concede so early into the second half. A corner comes in. Blaine Hudson seemed to win the header, but it wasn't a great header, and it's just trickled into the far post. It's 2-0 to TNS. Sickening blow so early in the second half. Certainly not anywhere near the second best chance of the game that TNS have had, and it's ended up in the back of the net. Really weak goal to go in. Boys look to the skies here. Arms are out. That's a frustrating one. Kai Whitmore pirouettes twice inside the centre circle, throws two dummies. Haverfordwest back in possession now, and we need a goal to pick a little bit of momentum back up here now. And we finished the first half relatively well, to be fair. I think it was Blaine Hudson who had the header, but it seems there's confusion about the goal scorer. I think it might have been an own goal. I think a Cymru League's representative looking to get the scores on the Cymru football app are in discussion about who actually scored the goal. Great touch by the referee there. He's blown for a free kick. I think it's a drop ball it'll be. The refs get involved this afternoon.
Second goal for the New Saints at the end of the 49th minute was scored by number 12, Blaine Hudson.
Yeah, the goal credited to the TNS defender, but I think it might go down as an own goal as more information unfolds on that one. So 2-0, and I believe just 4 minutes into the second half here. I think TNS have had some chat in the dressing room, because they've come out all guns blazing here. Seems to be a far better TNS performance than the last 10 minutes of the first half, where they seem to down tools a little bit.
Well done, Lee.
Kai Whitmore now in possession, over on the left-hand side. Oh, nearly plays a TNS striker through. It's cleared long by Zach. Ricky Watts on the ball. Plays it down the right-hand side. It's forced, but he's, again, being looked after, should we say, physically. Watts gets to the ball first, but again, it's back into TNS possession. Good afternoon, Julia, who is in sunny Hull. Good afternoon. Welcome. I'm assuming a connection of Mr. Pennock's. As I see across the other side of the pitch, in the technical area, he's there holding his arms crossed in probably a little bit of disbelief that we're already 2-0 down after a very mediocre goal to concede. Astel's now again coming into the Haverfordwest half for a guy who probably is 6'5". From where I can see, he's a big lad as well with it. He carries the ball well. But I mean, the way they move the ball across the back line, if Martel is chasing down one centre half, they quickly pop it off to the other, who's obviously got space in front of him then. So it creates gaps. So if we can get the ball and counter, those are the gaps we need to exploit. Again with Astles, well inside the Haverfordwest half here. Every player, apart from Connor Roberts, the TNS keeper, inside this half. Zach Jones is very vocal in our goal, instructing the boys of these runs. It's down the left to Danny Redmond on the byline now.
Well done, Danny.
It was almost a strike by Carnavan. He's inside the box. It's a good spell of possession from the home side. Must be up to about 20 passes here. Leo Smith inside. It's very intricate. Boys are doing well to not dive into any of these in these dangerous areas. It's now out the other side, but Oscar Borg does well to clear, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. Again, going back to my question then, the first time TNS as a merged club played a competitive fixture in the Millennium Stadium 20 years ago. Anyone knows that one? I certainly remember it. I was probably a little bit too young to go myself, but it was against Man City in the UEFA Cup. It was a 7-0 win, I think, for Man City that day. But and ever since, TNS have been this merged club. Luke de Boer does well to clear a potential chance there. It's out to Ricky Watts. Sometimes got to count the number of TNS players. They're so quick to pressure the yellow shirts of the Bluebirds this afternoon. They're very well organised, I must admit. Struggling to get any possession of note here. Hopefully that's a bit of commentator's curse, and we do now. But it's still with the home side. TNS, one of only 2 teams in the league who are unbeaten, are Guinness World Record holders. I read during the halftime break, whilst queuing up for a coffee too. They have a consecutive. Oh, there's another chance here. Leo Smith on the edge of the box. Oscar does well to hold him up. Carnavan, 25 yards out, is blocked. Could have been deemed a foul. He got the ball, but there was a tasty one by Leo Smith on Kai Whitmore. Kai not happy with it with the referee. Delivered back in. Zach does well to collect. It's back. Bluebirds now with the ball. Kai does well. Does so well with that ball. He's ended up being tackled, but his close play, he's going to get booked now, I think, for his conversation with the ref prior to that move. He's yellow carded. This is his 5th booking of the season, I am told, by Tom Pritchard, sat next to me, the social media officer, which will now result in Kai picking up a 1-game suspension, I believe. Yeah. Mentioned TNS's Guinness World Record is for consecutive winning games. So 27, and they took the record off none other than Johan Cruyff's Ajax team. They won their 27th game, but were tripped up, if you like. Just in the next game, the 28th game, they were 3-1 up with 10 minutes to go and conceded 2 late goals against Newtown, our opponents from last week. They scored 2 late goals and drew 3-3 in that 28th game. Hopefully that's the case this afternoon. It's an excellent point-blank save. He's offside. It's a point-blank save by Zach Jones in the Bluebirds 6-yard line. On the 6-yard line, I should say. He's done well to keep that out. It was half a chance. It's just landed in the box for the home side. Drilled at Zach, hit him, bounced back. It appealed for a penalty of the next collision inside the box, but the linesman quickly put his flag up. I did panicked for a second, but it was due to an offside then. That player was offside. As Harry John has just walked down the steps over on the far side of the pitch. Another Bluebird substitution. It's Kai Whitmore coming off. Tony Panic making the decision to take Kai off. 15 minutes into the second half. And it's Harry John coming on for the Bluebirds. In that little and large combination, I think he'll slot in alongside Tyrese Owen in the midfield. Kai's not looking happy, but Tony Panic, the manager, neither of them embracing there. I think Kai's petulance, I will say, to the referees probably cost him the hook there.
Substitution for Haverfordwest County at the end of the 57th minute. Number 14, Harry John, has come on to replace number 8, Kai Whitmore.
Oh, again, a chance out of nothing for the Bluebirds this time, and Colin Roberts was very calm on the ball. Fawcett nearly blocked the clearance. They attack once more. Danny Redmond down on this near side in front of us. Out to Canavan, who takes on Ricky Wass. Ricky Wass does really well and puts it out for a corner. It's going to be Leo Smith, right-footed. Again, Craig Harris and the manager of TNS in front of us, busy making notes, watching from an unusual spot. It's out for a corner on the far side. Oscar, I felt, was infringed there. Could have been a free kick against TNS, but Oscar clears, and then the ref straight away gives a corner. Things not going our way at all at the moment. Over on the other side, it's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. Redmond, the left-back over there. Very static in the box. Hudson and Astel's Giants. Well contested. Lee Jenkins wins the header clear. Back in by Redmond. It's deep. Astel's unmarked at the back. It's well collected by Zach Jones. I think we need about 3 or 4 Lee Jenkins in that box to withstand that height that TNS have got. Fawcett flicks to Martel. It's inside the TNS half. Martel with time to turn. Back to Ricky Watts. To Fawcett. Better by the Bluebirds. Back to Watts. Again, the pressure. They're so quick to react and try and nick the ball back, TNS. It's all the way back now with Lee Jenkins in the left centre-back position. Travels well. He's got space to move into. He's bundled over. It's a yellow card. It's straight out of the pocket. For number 27, Jake Canavan. Jenkins did well, and he's a big lad, and he was buckled by Canavan to bring him to a halt there. But he's back on his feet and walking towards the TNS goal for this free kick. Not far off the tip of the centre circle. Stan Hawkins and Abu Sezi line it up. I think it'll be Hawkins who delivers. Tabona Jenkins and Terry Owen round the back. It's deep. It's uncontested clear. Harry John tries flicking in. Force. Oh, he's offside. It's unlucky. Better. It seems to be the first change for the hosts this afternoon. Number 8, Ryan Brobble. Not a bad sub to bring on. One of the key men in the TNS squad, I feel. He's been here for a number of years. I remember when Ryan Brobble came on trial, Haverfordwest's player at the time, Declan Carroll, was also allowed to come up on a trial with TNS for 2 weeks. And I think at the time, again, it was Craig Harrison's first period in charge of TNS. Had the pick of Declan Carroll or Ryan Brobble. They opted for Brobble, and he's still here all these years later.
Substitution for the new sites on 62 minutes. Number 8, Ryan Brobble.
Jenkins does well to pinch the ball back. He's through for Fawcett. Referee blows. It's another free kick. No card this time. It's about 35 yards out, slightly to the right of the goal. Abruzzese already making his way across. It's a little bit further out from where he put that equalising goal against Caernarfon in. I don't think it's close enough for a shot. It'd be great if it was another 5 yards closer. It probably could, but it's Hawkins and Abruzzese again over the ball. The referee's put his shaving foam down 10 yards away. Again, we've got some big lads ourselves. Tyrese Owen, Lee Jenkins and Luke Taborn at the back post. Hopefully we can make first contact here. It's Abruzzese, delivered, back post. It's straight into the keeper's hands. Just a little bit too far on that one. It was a good delivery, but no yellow shirt on the end of it. As TNS already come across the halfway line, switch to the right-hand side. Great first touch over on the right-hand side by Brennan. Commentator's curse worked in our favour there. He's put it straight out for a goal kick with the next pass. My friend from the first half is a lot more quiet this second half. Not so many random shouts as Haverfordwest look to play out themselves. Jenkins, hotly pursued. Canavan is now with Hawkins, who seems to be, again, the ref's pretty lenient with that one. Sees Harry John, nearly comes out of trouble, but it's TNS with the ball. Danny Redmond in the left back position here. Fawcett coming across. It's a great through ball. Canavan with the forward run. Again, it just seems it never falls our way sometimes. It's with Redmond on the edge of the box. Great cross in, but Zach claims comfortably. Rolls out to Tyrese Owen, who picks up on the edge of his box. In hot pursuit, Ryan Brobble, who came on, I believe, for Jordan Williams. So one talisman for TNS off, one on. Taborn. Harry John now on the ball, near the centre circle. Ruber's in possession. Again, it's some good play by the boys. Very positive. When they believe in themselves, they get a bit of joy. Leo Smith, so comfortable on the ball. Very technically gifted player. Just, again, pulling the strings in the middle alongside Dan Williams for TNS. Once they win back possession, they're very quick. They just fall into positions, make the pitch as big as they possibly can, and just move the ball. Again, the GPS of the boys today will be some impressive figures, I'm sure. To be expected, though. That's why they're the league champions. They're full-time, training several times a week, 5 times a week, I believe. It's Harry John now picking up a very defensive position. It is cleared by Oscar Borg, and Luke Taborn flicks on to Fawcett on the halfway line. Back to Taborn. There's a lot more space opening up here at the moment. Fawcett now down on the right-hand side. Travels with the ball. Oh, almost threads it through to a running through ball. Would have got Dan Hawkins on the end of, but it is picked off by Hudson. And now Canavan is in round the back. Tyrese Owen in hot pursuit. Cuts inside. Left-footed shot. Oh, narrowly wide. Almost 3 there for the home side. Let's take a look around the grounds in the Cymru Premier this afternoon. So it's obviously 2-0 here. It's 2-0 still at Corners Quay. Penabont have equalised. They equalised in stoppage time. It was Chris Venables who got the equaliser. And they are into the 70th minute almost in Bridgend. 1-1. Newtown still lead after opening the scoring in the first minute. They're 1-0 up against Barrytown United, and it's still goalless. Pontypridd United's impressive clean sheet.
Substitution for the New Saints in the 67th minute. Number 19, Ben Clark, has come on to replace number 27, Jake Canavan.
He said the Pontypridd getting pretty good at keeping clean sheets. They've only conceded 1 goal against TNS already this season. So another one for them so far this afternoon. Bluebirds now passing the ball about relatively well here now, keeping possession in the TNS half. The ref gives a free kick. Not so quick with the yellow cards anymore. He's got his shaving foam out. Dan Hawkins does well to get the free kick there. Again, similar distance out, about high 30 yards out. 37.5 yards out, I'm going to guess at it. Hawkins and Abruzzese standing over it. And the big lads are aiming for the far post. I think this will be Hawkins who delivers this one from the left-hand side. An in-swinger, in it comes. Lee Jenkins has scored! It's a goal. It's Lee Jenkins with a relatively diving header, I'd say. As the ball came across, first contact by the Bluebirds, a header into the far left corner, beats Connor Roberts. Game on. 2-1. Well deserved over the last few minutes, and those crosses have just missed everybody up until that point. It's the first time we've made contact.
West County in the 69th minute was number 15, Lee Jenkins.
Lee Jenkins' first goal since the Cardiff City Stadium. I nearly said his first goal of the season, which, well, technically is true. The European competitions classed as last season's fixtures, but excellent to see him get a header for a change, not without putting his right foot into the top corner. But a good goal nonetheless. Dan Hawkins with the assist. 2-1. Just such a shame that we conceded that weak goal so early in the second half. Dan Hawkins does well to control the ball. Can we find another one? Momentum surely now in our favour. Harry John done really well again since coming on. Technically, he just keeps the ball so well. Back to Zach Jones, who clears his lines. Martel is again physically looked after by Blaine Hudson. Martel, another great run. Abruzzese's coming. Oh, it's a good tackle. TNS pick up the ball inside their half. There's a big chance again there. And they break. Ruthless in their attacks. Through ball. Jenkins cuts the ball out to Oscar and it's deflected for a goal kick. A lot more positive. The arms aren't folded. They're outstretched by Tony Pennock over in the technical area as he encourages the boys to believe. As I mentioned, there's a bit of belief now. Having gone 2-0 down, we face an uphill battle, but there seems to be a bit more belief now. And obviously a goal's come from it. Springing our step. I can hear Craig Harrison in front of us, still encouraging his players. Don't know if he's allowed to do that, but he does. Encouraging his players to play the 1v1 as he slams the desk in front of me here in disgust as the TNS player loses possession. And Martel, the flag is up. He would have been one-on-one with the keeper there. 71 on the clock. 2-1 win was predicted. A 2-1 loss wasn't. Come on, boys. Floodlights are on, yeah? Extremely bright, to be fair. As Astles travels into the half. Fawcett tries to compete physically with him. He's not going to win that battle. It's to Redmond. Redmond again. Meridian runs down this left-hand side this afternoon to Carnivan. Mickey Watts standing him up well. Good talk in between Watts and Tabone. The TNS Twitter thread has given the goal to Steve Jenkins. Must be a new signing I've not heard of yet. Or is it the Barry manager who's come on to score for us this afternoon? If anybody's on Twitter listening to this, please feel free to poke fun at the wrong name on that one. Steve-O. He's got some nicknames. Fair play, Lee Jenkins. All affectionately given, I'm sure. Cross comes in from the Bluebirds. It's a great headed clearance by Oscar Borg, but only to the edge of the box. Good dummy. He made the most of it. Good dummy, but Martel has brought down Luke Brennan, who I saw on YouTube on the TNS Club channel a couple of days ago. Is on loan from Wigan. Amazing. Just seeing Chairman Mr. Rob Edwards' tweet with what a picture of Lee Jenkins that is on Twitter. And he's down as a midfielder. Age 44. Well, that could be accurate. I joke. Brobble. I said he was a danger man. Right-footed wand on the edge of the box here. 23 yards out. Just on the edge of the D. There's a 5-man wall in front of him. Brobble has scored. Ouch. It's 3-1 to TNS. Brobble around the wall into the bottom right corner. It's a good free kick, to be fair. He's done it so many times before. It's a 2-goal gap yet again. 3-1 to the champions. Let's hope that hasn't popped the momentum, because it certainly was Haverfordwest in the ascendancy there. This is mirroring what happened last season in the autumn of last season.
The third goal for the New Saints in the 74th minute was scored by number 8, Ryan Bobo.
It was identical situation last year when we were 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-1, and then conceded late on to give them that breathing space. Let's hope we can get the next one. Ricky Watts now in the centre of midfield, it seems. I think he'd be coming back to the right, but he's played it out to Abruzzese. Travelling down the left-hand side there. Good show and go by Dan Hawkins to Abruzzese, who crosses. Oh, almost falls to Oscar Borg, of all people, inside the penalty box there. It's cleared. Good touch by Tyrese Owen, but it does break. It's a 3-on-2 to TNS. Brobble down the right-hand side. It's well defended by Taborn. Ah, it's another goal. Brobble again. 4-1. It was an attempted clearance by Taborn. It just didn't fall right. Brobble picked possession back up, and I think he's just dinked it over Zach Jones. I don't know who was on the line attempting the clearance, but it's dropped into the far corner. 4-1, 15 minutes to play. Is that too much to do now for the Bluebirds? Disappointing. Going from an attacking position.
The fourth goal for the New Saints in the 76th minute was scored by number 8 in the second of the afternoon, Ryan Bobo.
He certainly made an impact. I said he would. He's been out for a number of weeks injured. He played 90 minutes in the week. I identified him as one to potentially watch out for today, and it's proved the case. He's come on and scored 2 within about 10 minutes. 4-1 then. And they're certainly not looking like they've had enough for the afternoon, which might be a good thing because it'll leave space. They're not ones to park the bus, TNS. Redmond down this left-hand side, across to Dan Williams. I've been impressed with him all afternoon. He switches play to the right-hand side. He's fallen to Brobble. And he turns and goes back. It's all the way back in their penalty box now with Connor Roberts, who switches it to this near side. Seconds after being over the far side of the pitch, it's switched. The transition and movement to TNS, excellent again. Ricky Watts as well to put it out for a throw-in. Another sliding tackle as he screams against at his teammates. Tyrese Owen seemed to catch Leo Smith there, who, apologies if you heard any of that bad language, is down in agony. I think Tyrese has caught him on the back of the calf there. My friend is piping up already that somebody's going to get hurt after that very rare clash. The ref having a bit of abuse here from the TNS fans as the physio comes on to treat Leo Smith, who seems to have a hole in his the back of his sock and a tiny little dot. Might get a plaster. Penabont now lead at home to Carnarvon. 2-1. Newtown have doubled their advantage at home to Barry Town United. Carnaskey remain 2 clear at home to Cardiff Met. And Pontypridd Bala still goalless. Bala's unbeaten streak so far continuing, just as much as Pontypridd's ability to keep clean sheets. Leo Smith is up and hobbling towards this near touchline. Some fascinating comments from these 7 TNS season ticket holders, yeah. I think there's going to be a change for TNS. Somebody warming up. I think it's Guion David, who could be a like-for-like swap, perhaps, with Leo Smith. Astles plays it short. Redmond all the way back to Connor Roberts. The ref continues to have earache from my friend. The Bluebirds certainly not giving up. They're pressurising TNS on possession just outside their penalty box to my right hand side. As they break, it's Josh Daniels, the right back, over on this left hand side here. Harry John does well to pinch it back off him. Oscar Borg now travelling 20 yards, 30 yards, finds Dan Hawkins. Oscar continues his run down the left hand side. Across. Ben Fawcett, 30 yards out to Tyrese Owen. He's got numbers to the right, plays it to Harry John. Luke Brennan, the Wigan man, in hot pursuit, but it's played back to Luke Tabone inside the TNS half. Tyrese Owen. Little bit of lack of movement, but it does find Dan Hawkins on the right hand side near the corner flag. Unable to cross. It's back to Harry John. Boys keeping the ball well here. Luke Tabone, 30 yards out. Even higher than the shots in the first half. It clears the stand, this one. Out for a goal kick. Leo Smith is indeed replaced for number 2, Josh Pask, a right-sided defender. And it is Guion David who comes on for Brad Young. Guion David going up front, it seems, with Brad Young making way. Into the final 10 minutes of play, I would say here. 3-goal advantage. And I think it'll be a case of ruin those errors for some of those goals that has just taken this game away from the Bluebirds. Frustratingly. Nice flick from Brobble, who gets the ball back on the right-hand side. The cross is, it's Ricky Watts who clears, out for a corner, I think, yes. Flag is up, yeah, corner.
Number 29, Guion David, has come on to replace number 23, Brad Young.
TNS with a number of threats that come off the bench. The squad has got some depth. It's a corner over on the far corner, away in my top left. It's going to be an in-swing. It's Redmond to deliver. It's deep. Pask has just come on. has headed it back across the goal line, and it's a hat-trick for Ryan Brobel. His third goal in about 15 minutes of being on the pitch. TNS 5, Haverfordwest County 1. Two pretty easy headers. Zach did get a touch that pushed it into the top of the net, but it's a fifth, and that really is game over, if it wasn't already before. Tough one, that. Second half, it's got away from the boys, who a couple show frustrations to each other. But it's a shame. We've shown some spells today of believing in the boys' ability, very much like the European sort of games where we were underdogs, but we believed that we had the ability to compete. But it's been too inconsistent throughout this afternoon's game. As Tyrese Owen tries to get an attack going, it's soon pinched back by the home side. It was interesting, TNS released a press conference recorded internally by their social media team. Upon watching it last night, Craig Harrison was very complimentary, I must admit, of Haverfordwest's development over the last 12 months or so, particularly about our summer and acquisitions and things like that. He'd identified, and I think I've got the quote here. Pens has done a fantastic job down there. He's got a team organised, obviously got them hard to beat. And from their performances in Europe, the right way, playing the right way from the end of last season with momentum. We've watched games back, we've done our due diligence, and we definitely 100% won't be taking it lightly. And that's certainly been the case this afternoon. They haven't taken Haverfordwest lightly. They've come out all guns blazing. Hence the scoreline of 5-1 this afternoon. But he also mentioned in that press conference their injuries. Ryan Brobel, like I said, just returning from a spell on the sidelines. Having played 90 minutes in the week, he's come on as a sub today and scored a hat-trick. But their main talisman, Declan McManus, is out through injury. Had an operation. I'm not sure what is the injury, but he's been out, had an operation, will be back in a few weeks apparently. I think John Routledge, Ash Baker, and the new recruit in the summer, Rory Holden, as well, are imminent to return to the squad. So it's an unbeaten start of the season for TNS, which doesn't look like slowing down, with yet many of their stars to return to their squad. Even though TNS have drawn twice this season, to be fair, it's still some effort considering the missing players they've got. The game just seems to be playing out now, with the result almost 100% confirmed. Brobel back in the centre circle. Bluebirds beginning to look tired now. They've chased well this afternoon, but just not well enough. Craig Harrison again slapping the desk in front of him. He's not happy with his performance. Relentless. They've been in possession for a good spell now. Probably 20, 30 passes they're putting together. I'm hoping to jinx them by saying that. I have, thankfully. It's back with Luke Tabone in a central position. Bluebirds have gone to a back four. Oscar Borg now playing left back. Habrosese pushed up to the left-hand side, looking to get a bit more attacking threat. A nice 1-2 between Oscar and Abu. Habrosese coming in field. Ricky Watts in a lot of space on the far side. Come Martel. Martel took a touch. It was heavy, and it's run through to the keeper. A lighter one would have meant a 1v1 chance, as Ryan Astles kicks the ball into touch to allow for treatment to Ben Clark, who's come on for, I think, Dan Williams just a couple of seconds ago. yet more injury problems perhaps for TNS. As we do approach the 90th minute. As I mentioned, I got Tom Pritchard next to me. Tom, any suggestions on a man of the match this afternoon? It is a tough one. It is a tricky one. I think I immediately look up and see Ricky Watts in front of me. He's done well since he's come on. Steve, or should we call him? We better call him by his right name. Lee Jenkins has scored his first league goal of the season. Dan Hawkins again, apparently to last week. I think he was one of very few who had some sort of performance against Newtown last week. He's run around well today. Ben has competed against the Giants. It's been a tough afternoon. Just a couple of simple mistakes made that have taken the game away from us. To be fair, I don't seem to remember Jenks really making many mistakes, so I'd be inclined to probably say Jenks this afternoon, who tends to be very consistent, to be fair. Hasn't missed a league game, I think, since his arrival from Aberystwyth at the start of last season. Ever present. And for somebody who has so much physical interaction with others' opponents, his disciplinary record is good too. Referee's given offside. It's going to be a Zach Jones clearance. It's played short. Out to Ricky Watts on this near side. Back to DeBorn, who clears up to Fawcett on the near the halfway line. Does well. It's 3 TNS players trying to pinch it off him. Ref surely does give a free kick. Fawcett's down. He's okay. He's looked to be injured initially, but he's okay. Tyrese Owen as well has gone down with a bit of cramp. Expecting the injury time board any second from the fourth official. Yeah, I'm going to go with Lee Jenkins for the Bluebirds man of the match today.
The latest scores in the other GED coming from games taking place this afternoon. Connors Key, Nomads 3, Cardiff Mac University 0, Pennybont 2, Carnarvon Town 1, Newtown 2, Barrytown United 0, and Pontypridd United 0, Ballatown 0. Those are all latest scores.
Hopefully you could hear some of the scores coming through. The Tannoy announcer there. It's 3-0 Connors Key now, who obviously we face next week. It's Mike Wild with the third goal of the afternoon up in Flintshire. Pennybont still leading 2-1, Newtown leading 2-0, and Pontypridd Bala 0-0. It's another injury concern for TNS. Daniels, I think it is now, down. My friends piping up.
The winner of the New Saints Player of the Match Award, kindly sponsored by Henstone Distillery, has been chosen by Chris Tuller as number 8, Ryan Brobble.
Official home side man of the match, Ryan Brobble, who came on in around about 60th minute probably. Let's have a look. Brobble came on 62nd minute. So it's not even 30 minutes. I think it was a 23-minute hat-trick there from Brobble. Wasn't really made to work for that hat-trick neither, which is the disappointing side of this afternoon's result. Flag up on the far side for an offside against Carnarvon. The board has indicated there'll be 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes of injury time at the end of this second half to bring out a close to the Bluebirds Nest Live. I will say that we are home next Saturday, so a home fixture on the 23rd of September at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. I mentioned it earlier. It's the Nomads of Connors Key, who will no doubt be bringing the prodigal son with them. Jordan Davis, our top goal scorer from last year, who's now at the Nomads. He will be coming down back to the Oggy Bridge Meadow. I've seen too much of that fingers in the air celebration this season. Let's hope we don't see it next season. He's having a good start to life back at Connors Key. Let's hope we can keep him quiet. He hasn't scored this afternoon, so hopefully another drought next week for Jordan as he comes back. The Bluebirds Nest does, however, return in about 10 days. It's an away fixture to Cardiff Met on a Tuesday night, the 26th of September. So full live audio coverage from Kincoid campus, where we were successful in that playoff final back in May. They'll be probably chomping at the bit, especially after losing themselves today, to get a bit of revenge against us. So hopefully the boys can come back out fighting. It's a tough spell of fixtures for us now, as the referee blows the full-time whistle.
Final score here at Parkhill Stadium then is the New Saints 5, Haverfordwest County 1. The attendance for today's match is 248. Thank you all very much indeed for your support. Don't forget this coming Tuesday evening, the 19th of
I will
September,
highlight
we
that
have a hope
the
to report balance
Tannoy
in the
announcer
third
has
round
announced
of the
an
Nathaniel
attendance of
FC Cup here at Parkhill
248.
Stadium with a 7:45 p.m. kickoff.
I will just leave that there. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in to the Nest Live this afternoon. It's great to spend the afternoon with those who are unable to come to away fixtures. But thank you for keeping me company as the game has unfolded. For spells, I thought we were really in with a chance of getting something, but it's ended up with TNS comfortable winners in the end. 5-1, a hat-trick for Ryan Brobble, with Lee Jenkins getting the consolation goal for the Bluebirds. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in about 10 days' time. Thank you.
Is on Saturday the 30th of September when we